Welcome, my friends, to Crypto2EARN. This is a quick summary of what the channel will be about. Mainly, it's going to be the crypto space where we can learn how to obtain, save, earn, and make the cryptocurrencies work for us. As you can see, the subtext here is knowledge is power, and power brings wealth. And that's what we intend to do in this channel. So the main 10 themes that we're going to be looking at regularly is going to be, yes, a quick introduction to the video. We're going to look at news, always fundamentals, technical analysis. There's no real market study without even a basic technical analysis. On-chain analysis, which is very relevant to especially blockchain and to this new space. That's an interesting thing that I'm really getting into lately. We're going to look at altcoins, which again is just, although Bitcoin is the sun, then all the planets would be alts, and there are many, many interesting projects coming up, which we should be knowledgeable about too. Then how to make our coins work or our crypto work. We're going to look at yields, pools, and staking, and all these ways of actually making money with just passive incomes. Accounting, Excel, DCAs, how to keep tabs on what we're doing with our currency. I particularly like using Excel and have ways of accessing direct data from through API. So that should be something we'll be looking at. Quant Fury and trading. I'm not really a day trader, but since I've discovered Quant Fury, I really got into it, and there are a few tricks to try and not lose too much money, but it can be fun. And then looking at other features, which we'll take one at a time, like wallets, platforms. We will look into many other things, and then finally the channel and the community. I think we should try and make the channel inclusive and interactive, and I will be doing some draws and prizes with certain regularity. So just going into a little bit more detail, current affairs, we'll be looking at news. There's many ways of getting the news, but I will scan through it daily and hopefully bring you the most relevant one. We'll look at CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, Bitcoin.com, News Now, and many, many more as examples. The technical analysis, I'm not an expert, but just looking at basic trends and resistances and supports and trend lines, we should be able to get an idea of where we could be coming in or coming out, and where we can take some chances. The on-chain analysis is very, very interesting, and the more I get into it, the more I find it fascinating. And there are a few websites, some of them are paid ones, and some of them are free, like CryptoQuant and Blockchain.com. There you go, Glassnode, and look in info, Bitcoin. And we'll go into generally into detail as to what's happening inside the chain, which is very different from normal markets. So this is an interesting part of the cryptosphere. Then how to generate passive income. There are many websites where we can stake, or where we can actually gain just plain yield by putting our coins there, like Celsius, Ledger, Nex, or BlockFi. Then we can also stake our coins, Yoroi, Station, Firefly, amongst others. And we can also find ways of pooling. We can put our coins in, and they will give us sometimes very high return. There is some risk to it, but we'll go through it in some detail on a case-by-case basis. Then just general fundamentals. I mean, I'm fascinated by this whole world, and I'm no expert, but we can learn together. We can go into all this new space, which is just beginning to become, and we can look at things like wallets, hardware and software wallets, exchanges, whether they're centralized or decentralized, blockchain platforms, what's Cardano, what's Polkadot, stable coins, we all know, but there are some new ones coming up all the time, especially USD is now quite popular from the Luna, the Terra protocol. Gaming, NFTs, DeFi, there's so much up there that I hope that we'll go together and grow within these fields. There is another very interesting, which is actually the blockchain intelligence. I mean, we know that there are agencies now which are looking at the moves where the coins are coming and going, both for fraudsters or scammers or hackers, and they have been caught, but also for the average citizen like yourself and myself. And it's very interesting to know what can be done in this space, so that we can have some idea of what the authorities, whatever they may be, might be able to do, and also to learn how to be more careful. For example, this is one program which is actually free based, but it's also a paid version. We can actually study all the directions of web addresses, how the Bitcoin flows. And for example, this list here, this is my, I mean, this is been jumbled, so I mean, you cannot read these things, but basically I have all the addresses um, of my wallets and my accounts in various exchanges. So I can actually at least have a little bit of control of what's happening when I send from wallet A to Wasabi, and then from when I send from out to Wasabi to my Celsius account, or my Celsius account, I put some money in Quant Fury or bring it out to wallet 2. It's just nice things to be aware of at the very least. Then I mentioned in the introduction, Quant Fury is a nice app. I mean, it took me a while to get my head around it, but once you do, it's actually quite fun. And yeah, you can be just earning satoshis, just slowly building up on the satoshis. Also, DCA, I'm going to show. I think many people are aware now how to, if you want to invest long term, how you can do a dollar cost average DCA. So I'm actually buying every Sunday evening or Sunday $25, and I've been doing this now for a couple of months. And then we'll study how it works. Yeah, for example, I've put right now I've put $350 in, and the amount of Bitcoin I have is worth 395. And we know that the market's been quite down lately, so this should hopefully work better for us. Here are the two graphs. Yeah, this is the cost of the investment I've made, and this is the day by day cost, which is a week by week cost, which, as you can see, is more variable. Then just a very general view of what's happening. See if we can get a good grip on Web3. As some of you might know what Web3 is, some of you might know, but basically Web1 was when we were just simply customers to the internet. People produce content, whether it be Yahoo or Netscape or MSN, and we just basically consumed content. Then in Web 2 was where we actually could consume content, and we could also produce content, Facebook being the most prominent platform there, or Instagram, Snapchat, etc. But basically this was centralized, so we could actually create content, but the content was not, we didn't own it, we didn't have full control of it. We've heard of cases of Twitter blocking some accounts, and that's one example of how Web 2 works. Web 3, which is where we're going, is actually where we create the content, and the content is not owned by any centralized institution. So basically, these are decentralized platforms like Bitcoin, for example. I can own Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin is not controlled by any bank or government or any authority. It's actually in the space. So these are the things to be learning more about. And then finally, the channel and the community. I'd like to make this a fun community. I like to make this inclusive, where we all both grow together, and I want to make it that we do prizes and draws with certain regularity, so that we can all share in the growth. And obviously, you've always heard that is good for the channel. When you share, follow, like, subscribe, add the notification and make comments. But that should be some fun. So with this said, I will leave now this as an introductory, and then I will start making my videos as from this week. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learn, and I hope we grow together. Thank you for listening. Ciao.